Next on Worcester News tonight, a renewed last-minute effort to save a former church goes before the City Council tonight. Plus, honoring those who make communities stronger. United Way of Central Massachusetts hosts its 98th annual celebration. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. The demolition process has slowly started inside Notre Dame des Canadiens Church, but the Save Notre Dame Alliance is not giving up. They took their last chance effort in front of the City Council Tuesday, hoping to put things on pause. As for now, the structure will be dismantled in a few weeks, and the group knows they're almost out of time. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with more. Cam?
Anna, the group is hoping they can convince the building's owner for yet another 3-month delay. They say having the backing of elected officials here in the city can go a long way when it comes to saving Notre Dame.
Downtown of any city is like a handshake. It's the first impression you get. You don't build buildings like that anymore.
Crews have started removing material from the inside of the former Notre Dame des Canadiens church, but the Save Notre Dame Alliance is still asking for more time before the wrecking ball.
We want them to delay until September the destruction of the building to give us time to pursue some of the new ideas that we've had to save it.
The group rallied outside the church Tuesday as parts of the interior laid in dumpsters on the front steps. It could take up to 8 weeks before the building is demolition ready.
If we all team up and work together to save the building, it'd be a wonderful story.
Last month, the Alliance asked City Council to support a 3-month demolition delay. Councilors really have no say in what happens to the structure, but some we spoke to say they support the cause.
At the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen with this, but again, it never hurts to ask, and it never hurts. We shouldn't stop fighting.
I think we've certainly expressed in the past and will continue to express in the future that if you have no current plans to do anything with it, then what's the rush?
Ted Kana is hoping the group can raise $6 million if granted the 3-month stay, but he knows time is not on their side.
This is really our last chance, and if we lose this, we lose it forever, and we all bear that loss going forward.
Now at the City Council meeting tonight, the entire group of City Councilors showing their support for the 3-month delay. They say the next step is meeting with the building's owner, Hanover Insurance, and having a serious discussion about Notre Dame's future. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. The biology of addiction. It was the topic of a talk tonight in Millbury called It Takes Brains, What Every Parent Needs to Know. The main speaker, Dr. Ruth Ponte, is an expert in the field of addiction medicine. She discussed teen brain development and substance abuse. The event at Millbury High School was presented by Senator Michael Moore and the Millbury Addiction Assistance Alliance. Chair Amy George says the purpose of tonight's event is to help explain addiction on a deeper level.
Addiction helps people to understand. It helps people to understand why this is happening, that it goes beyond just want. It has to do with need. It has to do with biological changes within the brain. So there's a lot to it.
Worcester County District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. says holding this event for high school parents and students is important because prevention is key.
If we can prevent one tragedy, if we can prevent, some kids from getting into an accident or someone dying from mixing antidepressants and alcohol, or from possibly going down the road of opioid abuse, where someone has had their wisdom teeth out and starts sharing Percocet that they got, it's just a home run for everyone.
According to the DA, in Worcester County alone, there were 260 overdoses in 2016. He says Dr. Ponte's presentation is important for students and parents to hear. The United Way of Central Massachusetts hosts its 98th annual celebration. The event is held each year to showcase the work done by organizations, donors, board members, volunteers, and parents over the past year. CEO Tim Garvin says when the organization is asking for contributions, they're typically asked where the money goes. He says tonight will showcase the results.
In the last few days. Yesterday we heard from the RRS, who we partner, the Internal Revenue Service. 2,186 tax returns were done for free here in Worcester that will return $3.6 million because of our efforts. That's incredible for not only the economy and our community, but for those people who now have more money in their pocket.
5 awards were given out tonight, including the 2018 Coughlin Award, which was presented to Powwow Worcester. Congressman Jim McGovern is reacting tonight after the announcement the Trump administration will pull out of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, known as the Iran nuclear agreement. McGovern describes President Trump's decision to pull out of the Iran deal as one of the most reckless and dangerous things he's done since taking office. He says the president's decision to violate the agreement isolates the U.S. from international partners who negotiate in good faith. McGovern says the agreement closed all pathways to Iran's nuclear weapon activities. He's urging President Trump to immediately reconsider. According to a Worcester law firm, a pedestrian is killed in a traffic accident every 2 minutes, and every 8 minutes, a pedestrian is injured. Personal injury attorney Peter Ventura is hoping to do something to change this, and he says 3D crosswalks could be the way. Our Chandler Walsh has the story.
On Main Street and seeing this.
Kind of an optical illusion, a perception that there's something there, there's an obstruction or something.
Personal injury attorney Peter Ventura says 3D crosswalks painted on roads could be a solution to minimizing motor vehicle and pedestrian accidents.
The status quo and what we've been doing for decades and decades and decades with these traditional white lines, it's not really working as well as we'd like.
The 3D crosswalks aim to slow cars approaching an intersection. And at busy intersections like this one at Plantation and Belmont Street, some pedestrians say it would be a good idea.
A lot of times cars don't slow down right away, they'll keep going. Sometimes it's hard, especially with a stroller.
I think it would help potential accidents and fatalities. We actually had one right up the street there recently.
Ventura had an artist design what the crosswalks would look like on some of Worcester's most dangerous intersections. He says in 2015, there were dozens of intersection accidents on busy streets like Highland, Cambridge, and Mill. And he says pedestrians are killed or injured too often.
A lot of times what happens is the driver who hits somebody fundamentally says, I didn't see that.
3D crosswalks aren't a new idea. In 2011, the Federal Highway Administration ruled they wouldn't be safer and would give pedestrians and motorists a false sense of security. But some in Worcester say the crosswalks might be worth a look if they get drivers to slow down.
People flying through these intersections, and anything that would slow them down would definitely be helpful.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A real-life opportunity for a local technical high school is allowing students to put their skills to the test. Pillars at Auburn High School were crumbling when students from Bay Path High School came in to help. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
These brick light pillars at Auburn High School were starting to crumble. Principal Casey Hanfield says moisture was getting inside and they needed to be fixed at a reasonable cost.
The building is 12 years old and we're in the process of doing some exterior kind of improvements.
Auburn contacted Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical High School, whose masonry department began work to fix the structures. About 8 students from Bay Path started the project about a week and a half ago.
It's a real world project that the students at Bay Path are actually doing right now, and it's something that they're going to be doing out in the real world.
Students had to tear the entire structure down, inspect it, put in a new drainage system, and build it back up. Senior Sophia Burton says it's hard work, but she's glad to be helping other students in her community.
We've been doing this for 4 years, and actually to go on a job site finally, it's pretty amazing.
She says although she doesn't plan on going into masonry, she says the experience will help her in the long run.
To learn the trade is actually very helpful with all sorts of matters. You can fix up stuff.
The project will cost Auburn High School about $2,500. Which Hanfield says is a huge win for both sides.
We get what we need. The Bay Path kids get what they want, which is out of their classroom and outside. And at the end of it, we're going to have 2 beautiful brick columns that should be there for a long, long time.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
It's a popular week for a small town in central Massachusetts. The Brimfield Antique Flea Market is back, and with it comes thousands of people and business for the town. Our Brittany Schaefer spent the day exploring the market and has the story.
It's a beautiful day for the first Brimfield Antique Flea Market of 2018. It's a week that brings a big economic boost for a town of under 4,000 people. It's a day longtime Brimfield resident Tim May has been waiting for.
Yes, all winter long.
May has owned and operated May's Parking on Route 20 for decades. He says the large crowds of the flea market transformed the small town, and with the crowds comes economic growth.
The economic impact from Brimfield in terms of revenue for the state of Massachusetts brings in the neighborhood of between 24 and 30 million in tax revenue, sales tax, meals tax, rooms tax, tolls.
And with an event of this size, Brimfield Police Chief Charles Cuz says they prepare weeks in advance.
With the 25,000 people that are in town today, and this town only has 3,600 people throughout the remainder of the year, it makes for a very busy day.
Jeff Cipher was among the thousands of people shopping Tuesday. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and plans on staying at the fair all week. Cipher says the 10-hour drive was well worth it.
If you can't find it here, you probably can't find it. We're kind of looking for bigger pieces, apothecary chest, coffee table. We said we pulled our camper, and so we have a truck, pickup truck, and so we got lots of room to load it up and take everything back home.
Shoppers can find just about anything from antique clocks to clothing. One vendor in Quaker Acres is selling furniture from the late 1700s.
And you can actually see the stripes where the hay was. We've been here for over a decade, and this is the place to be.
The antique flea market runs through Sunday and will return in July and September, but Chief Huss says this fair in May is their busiest. In Brimfield, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Father! Don't be embarrassed that your dad is a T-Rex! Yes, that is a father in a dinosaur suit surprising his son on his birthday. He showed up to his son's Worcester school during dismissal and decided to chase him to the car while trying to hug him along the way. The son was definitely a good sport during this. His name's Wyatt, and we're wishing you a happy birthday today, Wyatt.